you're a fan of reality TV shows, you've probably caught at least an episode or two of Doomsday Preppers. It's a show that follows these so-called preppers around with cameras and documents how prepared they are for potential disaster. Now, you might be surprised to learn that there are over 3 million Americans who consider themselves preppers of one kind or another. And not all of them subscribe to the spooky-sounding doomsday theme. Many of them are just preparing for a power outage, natural disaster, terrorist attack, or economic turmoil. Now, in a corporate setting, they call this kind of thing risk assessment, emergency preparedness, or disaster recovery. The various programs that President Obama is calling for from companies and their data security. But when it comes to you and your home and your personal protection, some agencies in the federal government don't believe that you should have the same rights to stockpile important elements or prepare for a potential problem. In a recent ruling, the EPA targeted families that use wood-burning stoves. Now, not every prepper uses a wood-burning stove, but many of them do, and the EPA says that that could hurt the environment. The recent demands state that older stoves don't meet certain standards and they cannot be traded or updated, but instead they must be rendered inoperable, destroyed, or recycled as scrap metal. But the federal government is targeting much more than just wood-burning stoves. That's just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. In a clear act of hypocrisy 180 degrees, they're also targeting preppers who use clean, efficient energy, the cleanest kind of all, completely off-the-grid energy, using innovative devices like compost toilets and self-sufficient water supplies. A man in South Florida was ordered to reconnect to the power grid or they would evict him from his home. Another man in Oregon spent 30 days in jail a few years ago because the local courts found him guilty of violating a 90-year-old law that doesn't allow you to set up a, quote, illegal water reservoir. The illegal method? Collecting rainwater and melting snow from his own roof. In New York State, officials there are dragging children out of the public schools, sending them home with a suspension letter. Why? Because their parents opted not to use vaccines. But when the education rates in the New York public school system, well, the way they are, maybe they're doing those kids a favor. Just don't expect the state government to issue a refund on that property tax, the money that pays for that child's public education. So now it appears the feds want you to rely solely on them in the case of a national emergency, despite the fact that FEMA has failed countless times in recent history.